Right. Hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where in the world you are and joining us or listening in. Thank you all very much for the support so far. We really do appreciate the support that we've been getting so far on our campaign, Flow for All. If you're new, it's basically our way of adding our voice or advocating for menstrual equality. Let me put it that way. For those of our girls or women with disability, because in as much as we are fighting for or against menstrual poverty, there is a lot of emphasis that needs to be put on those with disabilities because they do not get enough of the attention or sometimes they, if not most often, they're left out of the conversation. So AAA Foundation joined forces with Mr. Asante, and we came up with the Flow for All initiative where we're looking to donate to 100 girls at the School for the Blind at Ekropon coming next month and towards the end of November. So we do hope that um, we are able to do it. We're still planning and you know just looking for the support out there in terms of donation in kind or in cash or even tweeting, engaging with our post for a wider reach. We would really appreciate it, and we do appreciate the effort so far and the support so far from our community. So thank you very much. So today with me here is Miss Dorcas. However, there is a little bit of technical challenge, so I hope and I do hope that she's able to stay with me till the end of the event or program. If not, I'll be here talking about myself and to myself. So yes, Ms. Dorcas, if you can introduce yourself to our dear listeners. Right, there we go. So it's gonna be one a challenge, but we'll see how we get on. So hopefully she will join us again. But yeah, so as I was saying, this is Triple F Foundation. I didn't introduce myself. My name is F1 Pansa, and I'm your lovely host as always on these events. So today we're basically going to have a conversation on flow for all, every girl, every ability, and we've been having a series of events on this topic for some time now, and reason being, this is our way of engaging with our followers and also to actually have an open conversation because we do believe that even though we do post about it, we write about it, it's usually not enough. But having these sort of conversations every now and again, it's something that we can do in order to add more um, variety, should I say, and also to hear firsthand from our guests and also people out there that are advocating for the same sort of issue. So with Flow for All, what are we trying to achieve? As previously mentioned, it is something that we're trying to gain the attention or to get the attention and the education out there that in as much as we are always talking about period poverty, there's not a lot of conversations out there um, that that we always wait for like the 28th of May every year to sort of get everybody's attention, which is not enough because at the end of the day, people or girls are menstruating every day. they they're new ones, they're old ones, still going through that challenge. So it's one thing that we believe that we need to talk about every single day, um, and every time that we get the opportunity. Right, Miss Dorcas, you can you hear me?
very well. But my next person won't allow me to
All
stay
right.
on the conversation. It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So, okay. So now that we've got you, kindly introduce yourself to our speakers. I don't know. I can't even speak properly as well. Kindly introduce yourself to our listeners. You're a speaker, so kindly introduce yourself. What a
Okay.
day.
Okay. hmm Okay. My name is Dorcas Conway, and Global Writers has been an organization that I joined. I have been writing with them, and I am basically a communications officer. And I'm glad to be here today to speak on an issue, ladies. This topic is something that we have to re-echo to meet a lot of people because it's like it's sidelined. We are making noise, but then it
Mhm.
seems it's not getting to where it should get to. So I'm happy to be on the platform to speak on this issue. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, and nice to have you as our guest today. So you did mention, I'm gonna try and make use of the fact that we've got you now and not waste more time. So you did mention that it's a conversation or an issue that is dear to your heart. In what way is this dear to your heart?
Okay, so I was privileged to teach, and I taught for 2 years with Lead for Ghana. And during my time, girls, it's normal for you to have some of these conversations with the girls you have in school. And so once in a while, you see that a girl is absent from here, you're asking what's wrong with the person. Then they tell her that she's sick. But then when you
Yeah,
dig deeper, you get to know that the person is just
right.
in their period. You see, they keep on absenting themselves. And so, due to that, I liaised with an organization called Read Africa. I still work with them. So I liaised with them.
Oh,
We
nice.
created, yeah, we created a pad bank in the school that I was teaching. And to a point, it helped the girls manage their periods, especially when they come to school and they get their periods. So it's something that is very dear. And good, God being on our side, the headmaster was so welcoming. He bought into the idea and he agreed that at least once in a while they will restock the pad bank that is in their school. And I don't think that
Wow.
is enough because, yes, I don't think that is enough because there are still girls, just giving them one pad the whole
Hmm.
day will not suffice for them. You see,
But
there should
to be
be,
honest, I like it though. They're trying, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but yeah,
trying.
continue.
Yeah, it's. Wait, give me a second. Yeah, they are trying, and it's been very helpful. And other people have also adopted the initiative because it's
Mm,
not every girl that will have access to the pad. And so this is a
yeah.
good initiative that a lot of people have to adapt. Yeah, so it's very dear to my heart.
Great intro and great start of the conversation. I've actually got like 4 or 5 questions just by what you've or from what you've just said. You mentioned that girls, they skip school. Today they're not in, or once in a month they're not in, or twice in a month they're not in, and then you ask and you're just told that they're not well, which is a common explanation that we give when this happen. We're not able to say, oh, they're on their menses and maybe they're in pain from it, or it could be that they can't even afford a pad and they're shy to um they're shy to come to school because they don't feel confident to come to school, and we're not addressing this issue properly because till when or until when would we be able to actively and boldly talk about it so that we put the right measures in place? Because one, if we're trying to hide it, that means we're not accepting the fact that it's an issue that um, needs to be addressed. It means the education and the awareness that we should be given to it is not there. We're limiting it. So if you're able to say that, oh, so and so is not in school because they're on the period, or so and so is not in school because of they're in pain, and you send that education out, or even finding that
Yeah.
you can't afford the right product, and so that's why they need this tool. And for the right thing to be done for them and to give them that confidence boost, is we're not going to get anywhere. So my question is,
Yeah.
um how or where do we start from? I mean, you just mentioned that one you said one pad in a day is not enough, which is true.
Yeah.
Or
So,
how many ever, yeah. So what do you think we can do more to help with combating this issue?
so period poverty has been in existence for a while now, and
We've lost you again. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, but the network is really causing a lot of issues today. But we'll try our best to keep going and fill in the gaps as we go until we're able to finish this conversation. But yeah, it's a great start. I don't know who's in the audience that would want to join as a guest, so you can share your ideas with us or join in the conversation as a guest. So you can basically give me a shout out in the comment section, and then I'll share the link with you for you to come up, so that it doesn't feel like I'm having this event by myself and talking to myself. But anyway, yes. So um, a lot. Well, following on from what Mr. was saying, a lot of the time we're not, or as time has gone on, we're not able to address menstrual or period issues as we do. We're always shying away from it or trying to massage the situation and sweep it under the carpet as if it's 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 okay, but it really isn't. If girls are missing out in school, this is a big issue, because then the education is getting affected. When the education is getting affected, it means that there's a add-on effect of not meeting their grades. If they're not able to do well in school, it's going to affect the opportunities out there for them to even go to good schools and even be able to do or become the best that they can be. Because then, even if they're having the issues in school now, the thing is, it's going to follow on when they start working. Because I know there are ladies out there or women out there who are not able to um, climb up the ladder in their career, because they're missing work, every now and again in a month, during that time of the month, not because they can't afford period product, but because of the pain that they go through, especially the first 3 months. It can be a lot for a woman to handle, or for some women to handle. And with all of these absenteeism, it does go a long way to not just affect a woman's confidence, but also delay their progress to a certain point. And when the right measures are not put in place, it just, some people will just give up, or or over something that they don't even have control over. So following on from what we spoke about last week, is it last week or the previous week, or our last event, we were talking about how policies, if women with, yeah, hello,
oh my goodness.
no worries, yeah, carry on.
Yeah,
In the chat
this is
section.
crazy. Yeah, you posed a question like, where do we start from? I missed a lot. Oh,
Yeah, so I'm saying that you're saying that the one pad a day is not enough. So I'm saying that with all of these, and also trying to massage the issue and saying, oh, they're not well, and not really addressing the issue that is like what exactly is happening. What do you think we can do better? Like, from where we are now, what can we do better to improve the whole situation?
So aside the advocacies, which are doing a lot, because we saw what happened in Parliament. I think earlier this year, or was it last year? Some people paraded the Parliament House and they were saying they should scrape off the taxes on pad. Aside that, I think the government has to also listen and try listening to the local industries that are producing pad, because I think they're in the system, but then we are bent on importing other environmental problems, and also because of the taxes imposed on these, imported goods, they are so expensive to buy. And imagine someone in the local community who doesn't even know where the next meal is coming from. How is she going to afford pad that is about 17 cedis? Me, for instance, I buy pads for 70s. I'm sure there are other pads that are less expensive. But then if you want maybe the good one, it's very expensive. And for the whole month, you don't expect me to use just one. I don't bleed a lot during my period. But then for those who bleed a lot, what should they do? So I think aside that, the government also has to listen. We have to listen to the local industries that are producing pads. And I recently saw, I don't know whether it was a Facebook post. There's an organization that is teaching girls how to sew their own pad, like reusable pads. And for this one,
Yes,
you can
yes,
use it and wash it. It's just like the menstrual cups that have been introduced. You wash the menstrual cups, you sterilize it in hot water. It's the same thing. If you are able to sew a number of these reusable pads, you can use it a number of times, sterilize it, just have some good hygienic way of keeping it. And you wouldn't have to be buying pads every month. You can buy the pad to complement the pad, the other type of pads. But you don't have to be buying it every month, which is very expensive. So I think the government also has to come to the aid. And when it comes to the inclusion part of it, the stigma is too much. The stigma is too much. And for the stigma, I think it has to come from the grassroots level. I mean, the education has to get to the grassroots, the communities. People living with disability are also humans. And so it's not like them having their period is something so out of this world. We are girls. We are all girls. A girl is a girl, whether blind, crippled, whichever way, we are all human beings and we are all who bleed at the end of the month. And so the stigma has to stop, especially from the grassroots level. And CSOs are doing a lot in, sensitizing communities when it comes to stigma and other, abuses and stereotypes. And I think we should, support them in a way, in any way that we can, by still advocating and still sensitizing people from the grassroots, and still sending our voices there for the government to hear us. Yeah.
wow, that's a great submission. You have really touched on a lot of good points. So for AAA, we've actually embarked on the reusable pads before, and I think that no, actually that was our first project in Malawi, where we thought 40 girls in the rural area in Malawi had to make their own
Yeah.
reusable pads, and we donated the kits, the first startup kits to them, and also give them that training. Reason being that, like you're saying, if in once in a month or in a certain month they're not able to afford that comfortability or that specific product, which it is expensive, and I can relate to what you said with, if you're trying to buy the one that you like or you're comfortable with. And most of the parts out there, every woman is different to which one they really
Exactly.
feel comfortable in. So for me, I'm not going to advertise a certain make, but
Yeah.
but whenever that choice or that option is not there, I don't know if it could be a psychological thing, but any other um brand that I use, I feel very anxious. I'm not comfortable, you know. So say if I do find myself in these situations every now and again, as in with the girls, especially those in the rural areas, the reusable pads is a way for them to not feel left out, or out of social activities, school, church, just socializing and being themselves. So and also during the workshop, we were able to listen to them and understand what they go through, for us to give them the right advice and also educate them on how this is not their fault for being a woman. It's part of being a woman. You menstruating is not something that you should be ashamed of. But obviously, we do need to do it with dignity by having the right products and hygiene stuff out there. So one thing also is the government listening. I know I think those taxes are still on. It's not I think those taxes are still on, and Scotland is one of the countries that actually gives out free menstrual products to menstruating girls and women who cannot afford menstrual products, which I think every country should adopt that and put it in their policies to put money on the side during the budget, so that girls and women out there do not have to feel left out or suffer for something that they can't do anything about. And also, the thing is, I feel the few women in power that we have should add their voice. I've not heard any female minister or add their voice. I might have missed it. If anybody have seen any minister or female minister in power or in high position that can add their voice and it will go somewhere, if there's a video like that out there, kindly share with me, kindly share with us, so that we'll be able to watch it and educate ourselves on it. Because the thing is, we as women, we even shy away from this sort of conversation because we feel it shouldn't, it's sacred, it's shameful, it's this, it's that. So we don't even try. It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have. And the thing is, I think some women genuinely do feel, not just women but girls as well, feel genuinely ashamed to say, I can't afford I'm on my period and I can't afford the right product to take care of myself, or to go through the period. And this is where a lot of women end up having to use unsafe materials, unsafe products, and then they end up getting infections that could have been prevented. Sometimes too, women have had to, fall in the hands of unscrupulous men or boys, for some money, unfortunately, to buy these products, which is a shame. It is a shame. But then, at the end of the day, what can we do if the right things are not done, if the right policies are not in place, if it's not getting the attention that it needs, or if when we as a society, we don't even see it as a problem to be addressed, then, and it takes other issues takes precedent over it, then unfortunately things like teenage pregnancy is going to be high, infections which could lead to cancer and all other diseases and viruses out there that a woman can contract without using, or by not using, the right product, or even practicing the most hygienic routine out there. So this is a conversation that needs to be heard, like Dorcas said, especially those in higher power. And even as individuals, the little we can do is is basically to do the little that we can, even if it's just one girl that you can help with. We can help with a pad every now and again or every month, so that this girl does not end up using unsafe product or material, or having to depend on a guy by sleeping with them, protecting this child from missing school, teenage pregnancy, infection, STI. The add-on effect is a lot, her confidence and everything. So it is a very important discussion that we're having today. Right. So, Dorcas, now that I've got you back, can you hear me? No. Right. So she's gone. Today is going to be exciting, but this is our first though, and it's I don't know if I'm enjoying it or I don't know. But anyway, so yes, it is a topic or a conversation that is very dear to me. Reason being, well, I am a woman, and I have actually experienced period poverty whilst I was growing up. And funny enough, I wasn't even in a rural community. I was actually in the UK, in London. Can you imagine? So it's not just a rural community issue, it's something that affects majority of women out there, especially if your income is not enough to maintain or sustain this every month, because some months you end up spending more and other months you end up spending less. And sometimes when the math is not mathing, or even women that are not working, you understand. So I'll share my story. Since I'm by myself, I might as well use this opportunity to share my story. So I just completed university, and I didn't have a job. I was living at home with my brother, my dad, my mom, and I was actually shy to sort of ask for money for a pad. And I was doing paper rounds. 30, I think it was 30 quid a week, every week. And I had not been paid. And guess what? Here comes my period, and I didn't have any spare or surplus at that time. And I think this is why I always, from that experience, I've now always tried to have at least one pack spare every month, either to help somebody out or as a backup for whatever it is to happen. I think it's become psychologically I've been I've been harmed. But anyway, yeah, so I literally didn't want to ask anybody at home, but I'm sure if I had asked, they would have given to me. But again, this is what we're saying, because the environment wasn't conducive. I don't think I ever spoke to my dad or my brother or my mom about my period or when I was on my period. Let alone, we didn't even have a conversation like that. Let alone go and say, I need money for a pad. And now thinking of it, I could have said I needed money for something else. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't want to ask. And independent woman and all, I decided to wait till I get paid for my paper rounds and then use the money for the product. Guess what? I had to use the tissue at home, and obviously, because it was my first experience as well in using toilet tissues, I didn't know how to fold it properly, and I think I folded it way too much. So, and I had to go for the paper rounds, and it was not. It was uncomfortable, and because it was my first day, I think my second day I had to go through the same thing, because it came on a Friday, and I used to get paid on a Sunday. So I didn't want to tell anybody. So what happened was I was using the tissue, stayed at home throughout until maybe unless the morning when I was going to do my deliveries. And because I was walking, I was sweating, and obviously the tissue was getting soaked, sweat, blood, everything you can imagine. It was very uncomfortable, and now thinking about it, looking back, I can only imagine if I had to go through this every month, I don't know what I would have done. It was very uncomfortable. But anyway, Dorcas, we have you now. I don't know if you heard my question, so if you go off, I'll continue with my story.
I didn't get your question. My network is giving me don't know. Oh,
Right.
Paul,
So
I've seen Paul. Hello, Paul.
yeah, so I think he still can't join us because of network issues. So I believe he's joined as what is it? It's not a guest, as part of our viewers today. Um
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so my question was actually I can't even remember my question because I just went on. Yeah, right. So the government actually let me take it from the government actually paying attention. Do you know of any woman in power who's actually taking this on board and actively advocating for the taxes to be removed? Because I mentioned that I personally haven't seen any woman in power that has actually added their voice to it. Hello, I think we might have lost it again. Oh no, yes we have. No, I think she's gone again. Doc, because if you're speaking, we can't hear you. So hopefully, you get to join us and answer that question for us, and then we can try and wrap up because the the network is not making us have um our event today. Um, yeah, we had to cancel the last event as well because of no challenges. But anyway, so back to my story. Um, Doctors, if you're able to join, let me know, or just speak, and then I will shut up. Oh, she's gone. Oh no, she's back. Hello.
So I had the question. Hello.
Hello, doctor. We can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah.
You can hear me. Uh-huh. So no, I don't know any lady, but during the protest, it was rather Sosu Xavier.
This could be a very great event, but we are having issues with this live feed. Actually, we could take it somewhere else. Right. Okay. So I'll continue with my story. Paul is actually joining in from answering some of these questions. So Paul says hormones of women are quite different, and same applies to how they use sanitary products. We must advocate for sustainable sanitary products that are not. Yeah. Hello, doctors.
Yes. So I was saying that I don't know of any woman, but it was rather Xavier Sosu. He assisted and he joined in the process, the protest, also advocating that the taxes be stripped off. But for the
Wow.
women, I am not sure I know anyone in that part. And it's so amazing
It's a
that
shame.
even
It's a shame.
it's a shame.
It's
It's
a
actually
big
a shame.
shame. It's a big shame. No wonder they're not taking us
Yes,
serious.
exactly. Exactly. It seems they are okay, but then they are not thinking
Yeah.
of the ones in the communities. It's like for them, oh, I'm fine. My children are able to afford it. It's affordable, but then they are not thinking of those who are actually in the
Yes.
community struggling to even get something to eat. So, and as Paul was saying, I think the queen mothers and other females who are in position have to stand up because it seems they are not saying anything. It's rather the young girls who come out with, some of these advocacy messages and CSOs. It seems CSOs are doing everything, and so because of that, the government is so relaxed. Oh, let me sit
Mm-hmm.
down. The organizations will come and do something. They will get other funders from other outside or international organizations. So let me just relax and let them make their noise. But we have to stand up, and it starts from the grassroots. The queen mothers, the chiefs. You know, when chiefs speak, they listen. When queen mothers
Yes.
speak, they listen.
Yes.
Exactly. So they have to also join in. They have to join in the fight. We are calling them. If they are listening right now, we are calling you all. Join in the fight. We can't do it alone. We don't have the map. We have the map, but then we don't have the kind of influence you have. And so they have to stand up and join in because a lot is not yet done. And when it comes to the, you know, side of inclusion, we need them even more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because imagine you are okay, you have all your limbs, you are fine. Imagine the trauma and the pain, the discomfort you go through when you are in your period. Period is not nice. Oh. Let me say
It's,
it, it's
it's
not
not,
nice.
it's not nice.
It isn't. And even when you are in your period, you don't feel fine mentally,
Mm.
physically. It's like you should just exclude yourself and
Mm-hmm.
just go and relax somewhere, go and sleep somewhere. But then look at the one that can't see, the visually impaired, those who can't hear.
Mm.
And one thing that's caught my attention whilst on an activity tour, I saw that they were actually making ways for persons living with disabilities, especially their district assemblies. Right
Mm.
now, they are constructing their offices in a way that it is disability friendly. They make these pavements, aside the stairs, they also make a way for those who can't walk to
Yeah,
be able to
that's good
maneuver
to
their
know.
way up.
Yeah.
And
Easy
it's something that
accessibility.
exactly it's something that they have to actually factor, because
Mm.
one thing is having access to menstrual products. Another one is having a place to change, a decent place to change. If you don't make some of these places accessible,
Mm.
you are not doing anything. And
True.
so we have to really think through some of these things and make sure that some of our policies are reviewed
Yeah,
to ensure that persons living with disability or special people are actually included in some of our decisions. Yeah.
definitely. I'm actually still in shock that there's no female voice. I mean, if the female that actually should understand, I don't know if that makes sense. They should
Yes.
understand. I'm not saying they need to have they need to have they need not to have experienced it, but they do understand period because I'm sure they're
Yeah.
mothers and they've had periods before, so they know how uncomfortable it is. Um, I'm shocked. I'm not just shocked, but I'm disappointed. You understand? I am very much disappointed that there's no female in power adding that voice. So if you're hearing us, and I do hope that this little thing that we're doing in our own little way does get to the right people, and for them to act on these things that we're talking about. I'm disgusted. You know, because sometimes ah yeah, but anyway, yeah, nah, that's not right. That's not right for none of the few females as well. Because I know there's not a lot of females, but then if they're all silent, but then it goes a long way to actually add to what we've been saying, that we are even shy to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. So if we don't talk about it, then how is it going to be known that it is an issue? This is embarrassing. We can do better and we should do better. Um, and also the men out there, like Paul, that is doing what they can to add their voice. We really do appreciate it. And hopefully we do get more men on board. And obviously, because they are the majority in power, that these taxes and stuff would be removed. I am still very much disgusted and in shock about this with no female.
Yeah.
It's a shame, shame,
I
shame
wanted to
to
even
all
know,
of us.
do we have someone in parliament?
But then the minister of what gender and what is it called? I don't know the names of the ministers or how you minister for gender. should be doing this? Is it a man or a woman? I'm not really in tune with what like the political system in Ghana in terms of ministerial position. Yeah, Minister of Gender and Women Affairs or whatever it's called should yeah, we've got female judges, we've got female lawyers, we've got female doctors. Like, even if those in parliament are not really doing much, we still got very powerful people out there, women that could actually advocate and add their voices to this. And also the queen mothers, like Paul has mentioned, to add their voice. I'm actually still in shock with this lack of female voice. But then again, we'll keep doing what we're doing, and then do the little that we can to help our young girls out there in the best way that we can. But yeah, let's go back to what you said with people with disability. I have been trying to find one thing, like any product that actually caters for the blind. I mean, with the deaf, you can still read, but with the blind, there's no product. So it needs this needs to be taken seriously. We cannot just keep silent and not be able to help those with disability, especially the blind. Not just with the product, but like it's been mentioned, Dorcas just mentioned, and we've talked about this in past events, that the how the environment as well needs to be conducive for them to be able to have their flow with dignity and own their flow actually. And also for the fact that they're already being stigmatized with, because especially from our society with their disability, to add to it with not making things easy for them during the time of the month, or it's too much. So I do believe that we will get there, but if you're to just wait for one day in a year to talk about it, to take pictures, to donate, and then we forget about it, it's not enough. And we as individuals, organizations, entities, hopefully that I'm sure that people doing it, and it might not be out there or as advertised as it should be. But it we need more people on board. We need more voices. We need more noise, to actually let people know, and more people to know that this is not just something that should be taken lightly. It is part of societal problems. It is part of societal issues, and it need the conversation. It's not just a conversation. The education, the policies, everything else, the taxes. It needs to be scrapped. Like it should have time ago, but it's not, and people are still struggling for something that they shouldn't. It's a basic human right when it comes to having access to um, menstrual hygiene products, and actually having the right not just the product, but water, soap, to uh, yeah, to on that flow. I'm actually still very in shock that yeah, we women are not really seeing that as an issue. It's actually dampened my spirit. But anyway, so yeah, so this is why the Flow for All campaign is ongoing, and we're looking forward, or we're looking to donate to 100 girls at the Coupon School of the Blind, not just to obviously give the donation, but also spend a day with them, listen to them, hear them, advise them the best way that we can, to let them know that we see them, and this is the little that we can do to support them, and also to actually educate ourselves as well, hearing firsthand how they go about it and what they feel would make it easier for them. That's if there is any that they've already thought of, and how we can best help. So if you have been following us, we've been posting this around and having these events. So the donation, we're looking forward to make it, or next month, God willing. We're looking at the end of the month in November. So kindly take the contact on our flyers, or reach out to us, and then let us know how you want to support, whether in cash or in kind, or even in person, coming with us to make the donation and spend time or a day with the girls. So we've lost Dorcas again. So yeah, Paul has joined us in the conversation. Female judges should equally voice out to government, and when they have the platform, and should advocate for the taxes to be removed. I agree. Imagine the first and second ladies. Exactly. The first and second. Yeah, I didn't even think that far. The first and second ladies of this country advocating for safe places to menstruate, whilst making a case to abolish the taxes. We would defeat period poverty in no time. I do agree. And yeah, I didn't even think that far. I was just focused on those that have been appointed in the cabinet and stuff, that actually do have these cabinet meetings when they are deciding the budget, and this has not actually been considered. It's a shame. And yes, we will continue to do the little that we can to support our girls out there. So let me finish off with my story, and then we will wrap up. So thank you. There, I can see a few people on YouTube. Actually, I think there's more watching on YouTube than is on LinkedIn. But anyway, I was ashamed. I don't even know. I was embarrassed or whatever. Asking my brother, my mom, or my dad to buy me menstrual product, and you know what? None of them had actually asked how I was catering for myself in terms of the time of the month. So went through it with the tissues. I never, especially your first 3 days. It's not ideal. It's not hygienic. It's not comfortable. It's just a no, and I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't really be happening. The right products needs to be used at all times, regardless. So I got paid on a Sunday, and God being so good, guess what? That was the first thing I bought, and I spent all that money on menstrual product because I did not want to go through that again. And we thank God that that was it. Um, and like I said, it's actually made me very conscious when I set money on the side before I even think of my desserts and my coffee money. But anyway, just to add a context to it, that when even if you've experienced it for a day, right, you know how it feels. I'm talking to our women out there, and this is why we do what we do, and this is why we need more women to actually voice out. We need more women to talk about it. Our education system needs to change, and educate our guys, our men, our boys, the home that we live in. We should keep an eye, whether you're a brother, a cousin, a sister, a mom. If your daughter or the girl child in your home is not coming to you for product, you should ask how they're doing it, or maybe once in a while you could actually buy them these items, and then create that environment for them to be able to share what it is that they're going through. And also for the families out there that are actually creating this environment for that conversation to be had. Keep it going, and I do hope that we as time goes on, we will have these conversations and have these events and see how far that we've come as a community, as a society, as individuals, and even as a family. So yeah, thank you all very much for joining us this evening. We're wrapping up and about to call it a night. So unfortunately, Dorcas was in and out. It was going to be a very great conversation, even from the little submission that she did. You know that she's very well versed in it, and she was ready to have this conversation. However, the network would not allow it. But we're happy and we're glad that we were able to hear from her and for her to have joined in the conversation. Thank you, Paul, for joining in as part of our listeners and joining in and answering some of the questions in the comment section on YouTube. So thank you all very much that we're able to join as well. And we're still looking out for donations. So check out our page, contact myself or Paul, and let us know how you would want to support. Also, if you see our flyers, do react to it, comment, repost, share it with your friends and family, colleagues out there. You never know who probably have been thinking of this and have not had the opportunity to, or it could be that they don't know that this is even an issue, and it would be something that would draw their attention to it, and then we can all educate ourselves and keep educating ourselves. So yeah, thank you very much. Until then, we will have this again or another event on Friday, God willing. So keep an eye out on all our updates, and then share this event also with your friends and family to join in, so that we can all listen in and educate ourselves. If you do, or if you did miss this episode, it's going to be on our YouTube channel. So do share it as well when you can, and talk about it. Let people know that this is happening, and that it's something that we need to talk about. So we need more women to add their voices. I'm in shock. I'm disgusted. I'm sad. I'm saddened that there is no female in power out there whose voice can go very far. Not really talking about it. We need to do better, and we can do better. So thank you all very much. This is Triple A Foundation. My name is Afam Pansa. My guest unfortunately has left me due to technical issues. Dorcas, thank you very much for joining us, and also Paul Asante, thank you for joining in the comment section, and everyone else that listened in, thank you. And I hope I've not left anything out on the so yeah, thank you. Have a great evening until we meet again on Friday, God willing.